Northeast Live, most viewed news channel in the region. On YouTube, unmatched coverage.
News to keep you ahead. Evening Prime, every day at 7 p.m.
Northeast Live, the most viewed news channel in the region. On YouTube, unmatched coverage.
News to keep you ahead. Evening Prime, every day at 7 p.m.
Northeast Live, most viewed news channel in the region. On YouTube, unmatched coverage. News at 5, in association with Accoland Amusement Park, Annapurna Foods, Junior Holics, and This Farm Biscuits.
Hello to all the viewers and welcome to the News at 5. I'm Aaron Lingdo. We begin with the top story. Well, we have the first visuals of Rebel Sena leader Eknath Shinde returning to the Hotel Radisson here in Guwahati. Shinde had left the hotel in the morning for a couple of hours and speculations were doing the rounds that he may have left for Mumbai or New Delhi. Meanwhile, the remaining MLAs are stationed at Hotel Radisson Blu right here in Guwahati. Well, currently, close to 50 rebel Maharashtra MLAs are camping at the Guwahati hotel. Well, you heard it right, viewers. We have the first visuals of rebel Sena leader Eknath Shinde returning to the hotel. Shinde had left the hotel in the morning for a couple of hours and speculations were doing the rounds that he may have left for Mumbai or New Delhi. Meanwhile, the remaining MLAs are stationed at Hotel Radisson Blu right here in Guwahati. While currently close to 50 rebel Maharashtra MLAs are camping at the Guwahati hotel. Now, meanwhile, the Assam Chief Minister, Himanta Biswa Sharma, who is in New Delhi for the presidential poll nomination, maintained that anyone is welcome in Assam and even invited the Maharashtra Chief Minister, Uddhav Thackeray, to the state.
कह रहे हैं कि आप असम की बात पर ध्यान देके हॉर्स ट्रेडिंग कर रहे हैं
आपका मुंह से ही सुना कि और पहुंच रहा है तो और भी पूरा देश का जितना विधायकगण है सबको मैं आमंत्रित करता हूं असम में आइए
वो कह रहे हैं कि आप अगर खुद मुख्यमंत्री आपको कोalition का धर्म आपको फेडरल स्ट्रक्चर समझना चाहिए इस तरह से नहीं करना चाहिए
मैं होटल में लोग आने से बंद कर दूंगा तो कैसा फेडरल स्ट्रक्चर है कल आप होटल बुक करेगा और मैं मना करूंगा कि देश में फेडरल स्ट्रक्चर चल रहा है और असम का होटल में आप मत आइए तो ये थोड़े फेडरल स्ट्रक्चर इसको बोलता है
कितना दिन में सरकार बन जाएगी
मेरा पता नहीं है लेकिन असम में जितना दिन रहेगा मेरे लिए खुशी का बात है कि रहिए मैं तो सबको बुलाता हूँ सब आइए असम
आप उद्धव ठाकरे जी से क्या कहना चाहेंगे सर
आप भी वेकेशन में आइए असम
Now, meanwhile, the Assam Congress staged protests outside Hotel Radisson demanding the rebel Maharashtra MLAs to leave the state.
का ज्यादा आदमी वो भी बांध पानी के लिए भुगत रहा है और असम
the money politics from Assam. We ask the Maharashtra people to go back to Maharashtra.
असम कांग्रेस का प्रेसिडेंट
And a Shiv Sena worker was arrested outside the Radisson Blue Hotel in Guwahati. Now, Bhosle, who is being described as an emissary sent by Uddhav Thackeray, was arrested by the police outside the Radisson Blue Hotel, where the rebel MLAs are camped. Now, Bhosle was standing with a placard outside the hotel, calling out the rebels to reconcile with Uddhav Thackeray when he was arrested. Well, Sanjay Bhosle had come all the way from Maharashtra to Guwahati and was standing outside the Radisson Hotel holding a placard and appealing to the rebel Sena MLAs to return and reconciliate with the Uddhav camp.
आणि शिवसेनेला सोबत राहणार एकनाथ शिंदेने उद्धव साहेब बाळासाहेब ठाकरेंना साथ द्यावी बाळासाहेबांचे शब्द खरे करावे हेच माझं
Well, meanwhile, our chief of bureau, Arindam Das, caught up with Sanjay Bhosle a short while before he was arrested. Let's take a look at this exclusive conversation with Sanjay Bhosle just moments before his arrest.
आज सुबह होटल रेडिसन ब्लू के बाहर एक अलग ही नज़ारा देखने को मिल रहा है। एक शिव सैनिक आए हैं सतारा जिले से, यहाँ से करीबन 3000 किलोमीटर दूर से आए हैं। पहले आप अपना परिचय दीजिए और यहाँ पे क्यों आए हैं हमको बताइए।
मैं सातारा जिला से आया हूँ सातारा जिला का मैं शिवसेना का उप जिला प्रमुख हूँ एकनाथ शिंदे साहब जो यहाँ ठहरे हैं वो सातारा जिला के सुपुत्र है और मैं उसी जिले का सुपुत्र हूँ मैं यहाँ सिर्फ ये बताने आया हूँ उनको ये कहने आया हूँ कि आप वापस चलो माननीय शिवसेना प्रमुख बाला साहब ठाकरे के जो अंतिम शब्द थे कि मेरे उद्धव और आदित्य को साथ दो तो वो शब्द स्मरण करके आप वापस आओ।
तो आपको क्या लगता है क्या हो रहा है अंदर?
अंदर क्या हो रहा है सत्ता का सारीपाट चल रहा है मेरे को कुछ मालूम नहीं है मैं सत्ता के लिए कुछ बोलने वाला नहीं हूँ मैं सिर्फ कहने आया हूँ कि वो कट्टर शिव सैनिक है मैं कट्टर शिव सैनिक हूँ वो बाला साहब ठाकरे के भक्त है माननीय दिगे साहब के भक्त है मैं भी बाला साहब ठाकरे और माननीय दिगे साहब का भक्त हूँ उनको शिव सैनिकों ने अपना पसीना बहाकर बहुत बड़ा किया है हमारे शिव सैनिकों की ताकत पर वो बड़े हुए हैं वो शिव सैनिकों के साथ रहे यही मेरी आखिरी ख्वाहिश है।
तो आपका नाम बताइए और आप अकेले आए हैं?
देखिए आसाम महाराष्ट्र से बहुत दूर है और शिव सैनिक बहुत गरीब रहता है शिव सैनिक का जो एकनाथ शिंदे यहाँ आए जो जितने भी यहाँ एमएलए वो पूरे गरीबी से यहाँ एमएलए बने इनके पास भी कुछ नहीं था लेकिन बाला साहब ठाकरे की ताकत आशीर्वाद दिगे साहब के ताकत आशीर्वाद से ये बने हैं ऐसे ही ये हमारे जैसे ही पहले थे मैं इतना ही कहने आया हूँ आपको हम ताकत दे रहे आप शिवसेना में चलो।
एकनाथ शिंदे तो बोल रहे हैं कि उनको ये स्टेप इसलिए लेना पड़ा क्योंकि कहीं ना कहीं शिवसेना के जो प्रमुख है उद्धव ठाकरे वो अपने आइडियोलॉजी से भटक गए जो हिंदुत्व के आइडियोलॉजी है क्योंकि वो एनसीपी और कांग्रेस के साथ हो गए हैं जो हिंदुत्व को नहीं प्रमोट करते।
पूरे देश को मालूम है हिंदू हृदय सम्राट शिवसेना प्रमुख बाला साहब ठाकरे का हिंदुत्व जब बाबरी का ढांचा गिरा था तब भी शिवसेना प्रमुख बाला साहब ठाकरे ने कहा था जो अगर ये मेरे शिव सैनिकों ने गिराया होगा तो वो मुझे उनसे गर्व है तभी हम जैसे शिवसैनिक, एकनाथ भाई जैसे शिवसैनिक ही अयोध्या गए थे और जाकर वहां ढांचा गिराया था। और उनका बेटा उद्धव ठाकरे, शिवसेना प्रमुख बाला साहब ठाकरे का बेटा उद्धव ठाकरे इतना बाला साहब ठाकरे की प्रताड़ना कर नहीं सकता, सबको मालूम है। लेकिन सत्ता की सारी पार्ट में ये चल रहा है, सत्ता के सारी पार्ट में बहकाकर इनको यहाँ लाया गया है और एक गलत शब्द बयान कर रहे हैं। मैं इतना ही कहने वाला हूँ, ये कुछ भी हो, आप कोई बनो, कोई मुख्यमंत्री बनो, कुछ बनो, लेकिन आप मातोश्री चलो। बाला साहब ठाकरे के अंतिम शब्द थे कि मेरे उद्धव आदित्य को साथ दो, आप उद्धव आदित्य को साथ दो।
तो आपको क्या लगता है, आपको अंदर जाने देंगे? आपको ये जो आप मैसेज लेके आए हैं उनके पास पहुंचने देंगे? और कोई शिव सैनिक और आ रहे हैं क्या यहाँ पे?
देखिए, मैं छोटा शिवसैनिक हूँ, लेकिन मैं शिवसेना के विचार उनके पास लाया हूँ, इतनी दूर आया हूँ, शिवसैनिक की ताकत से, उनके खर्चे से आया हूँ। मेरा इतना ही कहना है, मुझे अंदर जाने दे ना जाने दे, आपके मीडिया के माध्यम से तो उनको समझ गया है कि मेरे को क्या बोलने का है। मैंने बाला साहब ठाकरे के शब्द को यहाँ दोहराया है, वो दोहराया है, वो स्मरण करे और वापस चले।
एकनाथ शिंदे तो अभी दावे कर रहे हैं कि शिवसेना तो अब उनके पार्टी है, क्योंकि उनके पास ज्यादा शिव सैनिक है।
देखिए, सत्ता में किसके पास एमएलए है, किसके पास नहीं है, इसका मेरे को कुछ लेना देना नहीं, वो वापस आए।
और भी आएंगे शिव सैनिक?
आएंगे। अभी ऐसा चला तो शिवसैनिक कहा भी जा सकते हैं।
कितने आएंगे?
उसकी उसकी संख्या नहीं बता सकते, लेकिन शिवसैनिक कहा भी घुस सकते, कहा भी जा सकते।
तो अभी आप क्या करेंगे यहाँ पे?
मैं तो यहाँ रुकने वाला हूँ, जब तक यहाँ का जो सोच और मालूम नहीं होता, तब तक मैं यहाँ रुकने वाला हूँ।
तो ये थे संजय भोसले, उप जिला सभापति सतारा जिले से शिवसेना के, जो यहाँ पे होटल रेडिसन ब्लू के बाहर खड़े हैं और ये एक ही मैसेज लेके आए हैं कि एकनाथ शिंदे और उनके साथ जो भी बागी एमएलए है उनके साथ महाराष्ट्र वापस जाए और उद्धव ठाकरे से बातचीत करे।
Now let's listen in to what the police had to say about Bhosle's detention.
अभी तक पता नहीं चला, कोई लोग कौन बता दिया पता नहीं है, लेकिन उनको अभी थाना में हम लोग भेज दिया है। वहाँ प्यार से बातचीत होगा, कहाँ से आया था, क्यों आया था, किस लिए आया था, तो पता चलेगा।
किस वजह से उनको डिटेन किया गया है?
अरे वो कुछ बाध्य रहा है, कुछ पेपर लेके आया था, वो अभी तो ये होगा। कोई आदमी को एक बार पूछताछ करने के लिए तो थाना में लेना पड़ेगा तो भाई।
वो तो कोई इलीगल एक्टिविटीज में कोई।
अरे सुनिए, यहाँ आप तो जानते हैं कि ये कितना सेंसिटिव एरिया है। आप लोग दूर दूर से आया है, सारा इंडिया से आया है, क्यों आया है? तो ये एरिया तो काफी सेंसिटिव है ना। आप लोग का सिक्योरिटी है, लोगों का सिक्योरिटी है, सब लोग के लिए पुलिस ये फोर्स इधर में दिया गया है। तो दैट इज व्हाई हम लोग कोई आदमी लोग कोई थोड़ा सा इधर उधर जो कार्रवाई होता है देखते हैं, सस्पेक्ट होता है, इसीलिए उसको हम लोग अरे रिटर्न किया है। कौन अरेस्ट किया है? अरे भाई थाना में लेके जाके उनको पूछना पड़ेगा ना भाई, आप कहाँ से आए हैं, क्यों आया है।
लेकिन उनका कहना है कि वो शिव सैनिक है और
वो तो उनका कहना है। अरे आ भी सकते हैं, कौन मना कर सकते हैं इंडिया में? आपको कोई असम में आने के लिए अरे मना किए थे क्या? नहीं किए तो क्या बात है कि ये तो जो आदमी आया है उनको पकड़ा गया, उसको थाना में हम लोग लेके गए, पानी उन्हें पिला के प्यार से पूछेंगे आप लोग क्यों आए हैं, क्या बात था, क्या नहीं था। उसके बाद जो कार्रवाई होना है एज पर लॉ, दैट विल बी डन।
Now, meanwhile, the Maharashtra Chief Minister and Shiv Sena President Uddhav Thackeray today reached out to the functionaries of his party, which is currently battling a rebellion. Now, despite the rebellions that the party has faced earlier, it came to power twice. I mean, it may have been left to the Chief Minister's official residence, but not many determination, Uddhav Thackeray had said. Well, Thackeray also lashed out at rebel MLA Eknath Shinde, daring him not to use Bala Sahab Thackeray's name. And we have a big story coming in. The IPS officer, Tapan Kumar Deka, has been appointed as the Director of Intelligence Bureau today. Well, Deka will replace Arvinda Kumar as the Director of Intelligence Bureau. Tapan Kumar Deka currently heads the operations desk of the Intelligence Bureau and has been tracking terrorist and religious radicalization for the past 2 decades. Deka, a 1988 batch with the IPS officer of the Himachal Pradesh cadre, is essentially an expert in Northeast affairs and was sent to Assam by the Home Minister Amit Shah after the anti-CAA violence in 2019. Now, by appointing Tapan Deka as the Director of Intelligence Bureau, the government has picked up an officer over some 4 seniors in the IB with the objective of adding more teeth to the Intelligence Bureau. Let's shift our focus now to Meghalaya. Shillong witnessed yet another protest against the centre's new recruitment scheme for defence forces in the country. Hundreds of army job aspirants today staged a sit-in demonstration demanding the immediate rollback of the recently launched Agnipath military recruitment scheme outside Shillong Civil Hospital. While the youth also held a protest rally demanding the Common Entrance Examination, or the CEE, and the Army Recruitment Rally to be conducted at the earliest. The aspirants said that the exams are pending since 2021 and were repeatedly cancelled on the pretext of COVID-19. Now, furthermore, the aspirants claimed that they were recently informed that the exams have been cancelled due to the implementation of the centre's new recruitment scheme, the Agnipath scheme.
As the youth of Meghalaya here, we are all about 800, I think, total for all of us, all Meghalaya have selected for the medical. But not here for here, I think only 50 plus we are here. So we demand for the government to take responsibility for us to conduct this CE exam, because we, the youth, we really want from our bottom of our heart, really, I can see that we want to be in the Indian Army. So we try our best, as we know we have worked some hard to pass out for the physical and medical also. But we are still waiting for the written exam. But now we have been cancelled. So that's why we are here to demand for that, the CE exam, common entrance exam for the Indian Army.
All are here, all those boys from all over the district, from Garo Hills, West, Khasi, and all district. We are here to protest against the exam that we had that been cancelled for us in Indian Army, CE exam, common entrance exam. So this exam should be held in 2021 on the date of 30 May. From that day, the exam been cancelled every month, like they have been postponed. And they said that due to coronavirus, your exam has been postponed. But we came to ZRO many times, like 10 times, 15 times we come to ZRO. We asked, when, sir, where will be our exam? He said, your exam will be held soon. So go and prepare for your exam. They said like that. But few days before, we asked, sir, what Agnipath scheme have been come? What about our exam? Oh, we think that your exam will be cancelled. How come our exam should be cancelled? Because we have not given this rally through the Agnipath scheme. So this is not the right of the government that should cancel our exam.
Well, it may be mentioned here that Shillong, which is headquarters to several important military, air force, and paramilitary forces, saw similar agitation just the past Monday, the 20th, over the Agnipath recruitment policy, as hundreds of aspirants seeking jobs in the Indian Armed Forces took to the streets in protest. The Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sharma is all set to meet the Union Home Minister Amit Shah this evening. Now, as per inputs, Chief Minister Sharma is likely to discuss the prevailing flood situation in the state with the Union Home Minister Amit Shah. Well, earlier in the day, Chief Minister Sharma had informed that the centre will grant all possible assistance to the state government in dealing with the crisis situation.
সকলোৱে চেষ্টা কৰিছে, এতিয়া বান সাহায্য আদি সকলোৱে ভালকৈ পাইছে। পুনৰ সংস্থাপনৰ দিশটোৰ ওপৰত আমি দৃষ্টি ৰাখিছোঁ। মই যদি ৰাতিপুৱা লগ কৰিব পাৰোঁ প্ৰধানমন্ত্ৰী গৃহমন্ত্ৰী ডাঙৰীয়াক এই মনোনয়ন পত্ৰ দাখিল কৰাৰ সময়ত এই বিষয়ে উল্লেখ কৰি যাম। কিন্তু ৭-৮ দিন পিছত এদিন ভাল কৰি আহিম যে কি ধৰণে কেন্দ্ৰীয় চৰকাৰৰ সহায় আমি ল'ব পাৰোঁ। এই মুহূৰ্তত প্ৰধানমন্ত্ৰী বা গৃহমন্ত্ৰী ডাঙৰীয়াৰ তাতে ভিজিট কৰাৰ কোনো কথা নাই, কাৰণ এতিয়া যাব লাগে আৰ্মি, এতিয়া যাব লাগে NDRF, যি গলে আমাৰ লাভ হয় তাক সম্পূৰ্ণৰূপে পঠাই আছে। এতিয়া শ্বিলঙত, এতিয়া মই শিলচৰৰ পৰা আহিছো, আজি ডিমাপুৰৰ পৰা গোটেই আৰ্মি বিলাক আহিছে, শ্বিলঙৰ পৰা এয়াৰ ফ'ৰ্চ আহিছে, NDRF আহিছে। চ' এই মুহূৰ্তত আমাক লাগে যোনে হাতে কামে কামটো কৰিব। প্ৰধানমন্ত্ৰী আৰু গৃহমন্ত্ৰী ডাঙৰীয়া আশীৰ্বাদ নহলে এনেকুৱা ব্যৱস্থা আমি কৰিব পাৰো নেকি? হাফলঙত ৰেল ট্ৰেক বনোৱাই হৈ গ'ল, আগততো কেতিয়াও হোৱা নাই, এবাৰ বেয়া হলে ছমাহ থাকে। গতিকে প্ৰধানমন্ত্ৰী বা গৃহমন্ত্ৰী ডাঙৰীয়াই যিমানখিনি খবৰ লৈ আছে, আমাক আৰ্থিক সহায় কৰি আছে, তাৰ 1/10 কংগ্ৰেছৰ দিনত হোৱা নাছিল।
And the flood situation in Assam continues to be grim, with over 45 lakh people affected in as many as 30 districts of the state. Visuals on your screen are from Kanpur. There you can see people struggling to get their way through with flood waters rising up nearly up above their waist. And meanwhile, the flood situation in Barak Valley is still critical, with little or no improvement in things. While Silchar town continues to be inundated with relief materials being airdropped by the Air Force. Meanwhile, the NDRF and the SDRF are working around the clock. All right, on your screen that you can see a dead body floating on the flood waters. And these are visuals coming to us from Silchar. All right, well, the situation still grim there. And let me remind our viewers that the Assam Chief Minister had gone himself and toured the Barak Valley to take stock of the situation. The Indian Air Force have dropped off essentials on roofs so that people are getting back to normal, so that they can get back to normalcy. And today he is, like you heard earlier, meeting the Union Home Minister Amit Shah as well. And to give us more information on this development, I am joined by Bikram Sarkar. Bikram, first of all, how is the situation as we speak? And of course, the Assam Chief Minister is in New Delhi and he will be meeting the Union Home Minister to talk about the scenario as well. But first of all, tell us what's happening at Silchar, where you are, and the entire Barak Valley.
Well, Aaron, the situation is still grim. The water is not going down. Yes, the Barak River is in a falling trend. Still, it's 21.47 meter. It's going, it is steady in this moment for about 3 to 4 hours. And if you ask where I am taking shelter at a building because the entire area is flooded. The entire town, the leftward portion are also under flood, and still the people are starving. All the roads, the major roads are blocked. It's running. The water is running over the roads everywhere. Aaron, the situation is still critical.
Exactly. So Bikram, like you said, you're yourself taking shelter in a building. The biggest crisis is that of drinking water supply. How are the authorities addressing that? And of course, including other relief measures as well.
Aaron, we are getting multiple calls from the people who are stranded, multiple calls, because the people who are under, all the people who are under flood, they are trying to put themselves in a higher area. So now the people are helping the people. We must say this is the time which shown that the people are helping the people, but the only scarcity is of water. Somewhere, some people are trying, there are some NGOs trying to reach to the people. In many places, even the NDRF with their boat, they are not able to reach out to the people. People are struggling, suffering for the major thing is of water. If we talk about the locality of the Yendi Colony, Tarapur, Shibai Road, Manipuri Basti, Rangirkhari, and then Ashram Road, Chenkuri Road, Durganagar area, we are getting ample of calls. They are asking us to help if we could contact the administration, but we are helpless. Now we are feeling helpless because we are unable to make a call. We are not able to reach out to the people. Even we are unable to arrange for water to feed the area people. We tried to, because some of the dams are also, these PHEs, some of the PHEs are under water now, which are unable. The only thing is, the problem the people are facing and problem people are saying that the entire city is covered with water,
Yes.
but scarcity is of drinking water.
All
This
right,
is the major part.
And Bikram, just to clear the air once and for all, we saw the Indian Air Force just a day ago or so, dropping essentials in people's roofs. Now, since that happened, what has the Indian Air Force been doing? Have they been sending essentials accordingly, or what's the update you have?
Well, we have seen the Indian Air Force helicopters are moving in some places. They have dropped materials, but we are also getting the complaint of the people. You can understand it's a huge area. Yes, it is getting a problem for the Air Force also to select the areas. We have seen in many of the buildings, because people are going into the buildings, and we have seen that red flags or cloths are being tied up to indicate that to drop this relief to the people. But so far we have not seen such activities. So far we have not seen. Yes, somewhere it is done, but out of 100, if we talk it out of 110, maybe 10 houses got, another 90 is still left out, Aaron.
All right, well, a lot of work to be done there. My colleague Bikram Sarkar reporting from Silchar, and I'm sorry that you have to be in a shelter yourself. I hope that things would fall in place very soon. Now, meanwhile, the wildlife has also been affected by the deluge. Now, this python was rescued from Badarpur area. And moving on now, the Manipur Congress today termed the government's decision to stop the border fencing along the international border with Myanmar as a farce. Now, briefing newspersons, Manipur Congress Vice President Hareshwar Goswami questioned the intent of the state government and thinks that it is only a bid to pacify the protesters. Now, while the row has escalated over fencing along the border pillars 81 and 82, the Congress leader said that the dispute is prevalent in vast areas along the international borders. Well, it needs to be mentioned that an order was passed by the government to stop the ongoing border fencing works, especially after delegates of the UCM, or the United Committee Manipur, met Chief Minister N. Biren Singh yesterday.
Yesterday, Honorable CM of Manipur, Shri Biren Singh, have stated that fencing at those areas where there is dispute will be stopped. This is, anyway, a good step, but to us, it seems to be a bluff to the people, bluff to the state, because the disputed area is not only the area where border pillar number IT and IT1 is situated. There are also many other places where dispute is still there. Honorable Minister's statement that this will be stopped only at the place where border pillar number IT1 and the IT2 is situated is quite unacceptable to Manipur Pradesh Congress Committee, and it would be also to the people of Manipur.
And joining me on the phone this evening is my colleague Sharat Chandra. Sharat, a simple question. What proof does the Congress have?
You see, Congress today afternoon, they held a press conference and they questioned the intent of Biren-Singh-led government in Manipur. And yes, somewhere the Congress questions to this present government, it also sound reasonable. Because you see, UCM before launching its series of protests over the Indo-Myanmar border dispute, they have already given the ultimatum that dispute is along the border, and in the ultimatum, USM also mentioned the border pillar number that is very particularly from the border pillar number 79 to border number 142. But yes, USM at the same time they have already withdrawn this status of agitation for temporarily, given that government have already passed an order that fencing on the in the side of the border number IT1 and the IT2 already stopped by the government order. But yes, the question is, USM United Committee Manipur in its ultimatum mentioned that the land dispute is on the in the very precisely in the border pillar number 79 to border pillar 102. But in the government order have already passed that the fencing in the border pillar number IT1, IT2 should be temporarily stopped. This is already given in the government order. But that is the reason I think Congress held a press conference today, and they even questioned the intent of the state government. And sometimes the Congress also charges that the state government is bluffing the people of Manipur over the issue of the Indo-Myanmar border dispute.
And Sharat, it is apparent that the entire issue is being politicized. What are you hearing from the UCM? What is their reaction on this new development?
Arun, yes, you have rightly mentioned that as the government have already given an order to stop the temporary stop of this border fencing, very particularly in the border pillar number IT1 and IT2. Now Congress having a press conference questioning the intent of the government decision. Yes, already the matter, already the Indo-Myanmar border dispute is already politicalized. But at the same time, I think one clear vision needs to be put on place. Otherwise, such kind of border dispute can come up in the future also. But yes, this is not the first time USM is raising the border issue. But in the past and the recent past also, USM always vocal on the Indo-Myanmar border dispute. Yes. In case border fencing is on in the dispute, then Manipur once again going to lose vast area of land. That is the reason USM feeling the apprehension and raising the issue. But yes, both the state government and the center need to intervene in a very correct way, clear intent. If the Manipur lands along the Indo-Myanmar border should not be losing 1 second, Arun.
Sharat Chandra reporting for us from Imphal. Thank you. And with that, we'll take a very short break. I'll be back in a bit. Stay tuned.
Poppies Live, most viewed news channel in the region. On YouTube, unmatched coverage.
Oh, বাহ,
অভূতপূৰ্ব ভেৰাইটি, অপূৰ্ব মূল্য, ডাউনলোড মিছো।
মই ব্যৱহাৰ কৰোঁ আটাইতকৈ সবল আৰু সতেজ চিমেণ্ট, সূৰ্যা চিমেণ্ট। সূৰ্যা চিমেণ্ট, অটুট ঘৰ, অটুট অসম।
Northeast Live, the most viewed.
Welcome back, viewers. Before we move any further, let's take a look at the headlines. Intense drama continues as Maharashtra political crisis gets bigger. Rebel Sena leaders Eknath Shinde back to Guwahati hotel. Uddhav Thackeray launches fresh attack on Shinde. Manipur border fencing row turns political. Congress terms N. Biren Singh government's decision to stop fencing along Myanmar border as bluff. Assam flood situation continues to be grim. Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sharma to meet the Union Home Minister Amit Shah shortly. Draupadi Murmu files nomination for presidential election in the presence of Prime Minister Modi, cabinet ministers, Northeast chief ministers also present. And another anti-Agnipath and CEE protest in Shillong. Scores of youths take to the streets. Let's take a look at some international updates. Well, US senators advanced a bipartisan bill late on a Thursday addressing the epidemic of gun violence convulsing the country, approving a narrow package of new firearms restrictions and billions of dollars in mental health and school security funding. Now, the reforms, which are almost certain to be rubber stamped by the House of Representatives on Friday, fall short of the demands of gun safety advocates and President Joe Biden, but have been hailed as a life-saving breakthrough after almost 30 years of inaction by the Congress. The bipartisan Safer Communities Act, which was backed by all 50 Democratic senators and 15 Republicans, includes enhanced background checks for buyers under the age of 21, $11 billion in funding for mental health, and $2 billion for school safety programs. Well, it also provides funding to incentivize states to implement, and I quote, red flag laws to remove firearms from people considered a threat. And it closes the so-called boyfriend loophole under which domestic abusers could avoid a ban on buying firearms if they were not married to or living with their victim. Now, the Senate and House are on a 2-week recess starting next week, but the Democratic-controlled House is expected to approve the Senate's bill with little drama before members leave the town on Friday night. Draupadi Murmu, the BJP-led NDA's picked for president, filed her nomination for the post a short while ago with a host of ruling party and alliance leaders on hand to endorse her application. Now, Murmu was accompanied by Prime Minister Narendra Modi and senior leaders of the ruling party, including BJP President JP Nadda, Amit Shah, Rajnath Singh, and several chief ministers, as well as leaders of supporting parties who accompanied Murmu as she filed her nomination papers for the July 18th presidential election. Now, Prime Minister Modi, who was her first proposer, handed over the set of papers to the returning officer. The BJP had prepared 4 seats of nominations for Murmu's candidature. Now, besides YSR, Congress V. Vijay Sai Reddy and BJD leader Sasmit Patra, who are not part of the alliance, were also in Parliament to back her nomination. Now, every set of nomination has to have 50 proposers and 50 seconders among elected representatives. If elected, Murmu will be the first woman tribal leader and the second woman in the post. At 64, Draupadi Murmu will also be the youngest president ever, second only to N. Sanjeeva Reddy, who was a few days elder to her when he became the president. She is the first presidential candidate from Odisha of a major political party or alliance. She was also the first woman governor of Jharkhand and served as Jharkhand governor from 2015 to 2021.
पहली बार वुमेन्स और ट्राइबल जो एनडीए का जो उम्मीदवार हो रहा है भारत की सबसे ऊंचे प्रेसिडेंट पोस्ट के लिए अपने ऑनरेबल प्राइम मिनिस्टर नरेंद्र मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में इसको हम सब ने इसको विदाउट अपोजिशन बनाना चाहिए और अपने नोटिस का खास करके मणिपुर का तो हम सब दलों को मिलके राष्ट्रपति जी को बनाने के लिए हम वोट दे रहे हैं। सर, अपोजिशन में भी हम अपील कर रहा हूँ कि जैसे ये हिस्ट्री में पहली बार हुआ है, ऐसे एक ट्राइबल नारी को इतना ऊंचा पद में रखने के लिए प्राइम मिनिस्टर मोदी जी का और एनडीए का जो है निर्णय है, इसको समर्थन करने के लिए हम अपोजिशन लोग को भी हम रिक्वेस्ट कर रहे हैं।
And moving on now, the Supreme Court today dismissed a petition filed by deceased Congress leader Ehsan Jaffri's widow Zakia Jaffri that questioned the clean chit given by the Special Investigation Team to Prime Minister Narendra Modi and 63 others for their alleged role in the 2002 Gujarat riots violence. Now, Ehsan Jaffri was killed during the violence at Gulbarg Society in Ahmedabad on February 28, 2002. The Apex Court had reserved its order on a petition filed by Zakia Jaffri against the Gujarat High Court's order, rejecting her plea against the SIT decision, giving a clean chit to Prime Minister Modi, who was the Gujarat Chief Minister in 2002, and 63 others in December last year. While senior advocate Mukul Rohatgi, who appeared for the SIT, told the bench that the Supreme Court should endorse the trial court and the Gujarat High Court's decision on Jaffri's plea. Otherwise, it would result in an endless exercise that could go on because of some motives of social activist Teesta Sitalwad, who is the petitioner number 2 in the petition. Now, Kapil Sibal, who appeared for Zakia Jaffri, told the top court that the SIT did not conduct an investigation but did a collaborative exercise, and its probe was fraught with omissions to protect conspirators. He also said that officials of the SIT, as well as the police, were quote-unquote rewarded handsomely. Well, the court-appointed Special Investigation Team, or the SIT, had submitted its closure report in February 2012, a decade after the riots, and exonerated Prime Minister Modi and 63 others, citing no prosecutable evidence. And coming back to the big story related to the Maharashtra political crisis. Now, the disappearance of Eknath Shinde from Hotel Radisson Blu triggered speculations on his whereabouts. Now, reports are doing the rounds on national media that Shinde had left for Mumbai. However, around 3 hours later, Shinde returned to the hotel, putting to rest all speculations. Now, the big question is, where was Eknath Shinde for these 3 hours? Well, the disappearance of Eknath Shinde from Hotel Radisson Blu today triggered speculations on his whereabouts. Reports, of course, were doing the rounds in national media that Shinde had left for Mumbai. However, around 3 hours after Shinde returned to the hotel, putting to rest all speculations. Now, the big question is, where was Eknath Shinde for these 3 hours? And joining me on the phone on this development, I'm joined by our editor-in-chief, Wasbir Hussain. Wasbir, if you can hear me, where was Eknath Shinde for close to 3 hours in a city that he is new to? And this has triggered intense speculations.
Absolutely, Aaron. We are getting a big breaking story at this point in time that Eknath Shinde, the leader of the rebel Shiv Sena group currently camping in Guwahati, he had gone out of the Hotel Radisson Blu today, and he had disappeared, if I may use the word, for close to 3 hours. Now our sources, well-informed sources, are telling Northeast Live, this is the big breaking story, that Eknath Shinde and his group are consulting lawyers and constitutional experts. That means they're getting ready for the final showdown. The Eknath Shinde camp is getting ready for the final showdown, and Eknath Shinde himself, accompanied by a member of parliament from Assam, he had gone out of Hotel Radisson Blu to meet some legal experts, who are camping outside the hotel. So we are yet to ascertain who the lawyer is, but there are two versions doing the rounds. One, that the lawyer is a lawyer based in Guwahati. The second version is that a group of lawyers have flown in from outside the Northeast to Guwahati, to whom Eknath Shinde had gone and personally met. At this point in time, Eknath Shinde and his group are busy preparing affidavits and so on. And highly placed sources within the Shiv Sena says following notices served on the group by Uddhav Thackeray faction, they are preparing to reply to these technical points, quote unquote, the technical points raised in these notices served on Eknath Shinde and others belonging to his group. They are taking legal expertise on how to respond. In fact, Uddhav Thackeray's camp is trying or planning to expel or suspend Eknath Shinde and his loyalists. So in this backdrop, there are two things. There are two legal expert opinion are being sought. One, how to reply to the notices where technical points have been raised by the Uddhav Thackeray group, the legal consequences if they were to topple the Uddhav Thackeray government. That is what they're discussing. And second, first of all is the reply, and second, what will be the roadmap if they have to, land up once again, return to Mumbai and stake claim to form the government, because these are still Shiv Sena members. So technically, if you ask me whether the Uddhav Thackeray government has been reduced to a minority, then technical answer may be no. He has not yet been reduced to a minority, because these people, the 40 to 50 people who are camping, the 38 Shiv Sena MLAs practically, who are camping in Guwahati, they still continue to be Sena MLAs, because the Sena also, Uddhav Thackeray camp has also not expelled them. So these are the issues. These are the legal issues that confronts the Eknath Shinde camp, and they are trying to seek resolutions to this. And that is the reason why Eknath Shinde, accompanied by an Assam MP, had gone out of the Radisson Blu Hotel to consult with lawyers.
Exactly. Well, on to some lighter note. Now, today is the third day of the Ambubachi Mela. Devotees continue turning up in large numbers for the holy occasion at the premises of the Kamakhya temple in Guwahati. Now, in spite of the Mela being held in a rather low-key manner, people are still turning up in large numbers to seek the blessings of the Mother Goddess. The Mela is set to conclude on June the 26th at 8:14 a.m.
आप कहाँ से आए? मैं पुरी से आई हूँ। हाँ। यहाँ पे इस मेला के बारे में आपने सुना होगा बहुत बार। हाँ, माँ तो मुझे खींच के लाए हैं। मेरा टिकट एक्चुअली 17 जुलाई को हुआ था, भूल से हो गया था, मगर उसी दिन मुझे लगा कि मैं वेटिंग हॉल में वेट किया और मुझे लगा कि सुबह मुझे घर जा, तो कैसा लग रहा है? यहाँ 2 साल बंद था।
लगा है, मैं जीवन में मैंने 12 ज्योतिर्लिंग किया, हर जगह गया मैं, लेकिन कामाख्या माई ने मुझे पहली बार बुलाया। मैं भजन गाता हूँ पिछले 20 साल से, और माई की कृपा से पूरे देश में मेरा भजन बजता है और बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है। आप आश्रम की बहुत अच्छी व्यवस्था है और आप लोगों की बहुत अच्छी, मीडिया नंबर 1 है। मैं देख रहा हूँ एक एक पल पल पे मीडिया की न्यूज है और वो होना भी चाहिए।
Now, in a massive crackdown, Shersip Battalion of the 23 Sector Assam Rifles yesterday recovered methamphetamine tablets worth a whooping amount of over 1 crore from Zokhauthar area of Champhai district. Now, the team arrested 3 peddlers and seized 51,000 tablets weighing approximately 4.7 kgs. Well, it may be mentioned here that the operation was carried out by a team of 8 Assam Rifles based on specific information. Now, besides, the seized consignment and the arrested were handed over to Champhai police for further investigation. Now, in a bid to make Arunachal drug-free, 2,054 kgs of seized cannabis was destroyed today by Balemu police under Kalaktang subdivision in West Kameng district. Well, the superintendent of police, B. Bharat Reddy, appealed to the public and local authorities to put forward their support in making Arunachal a drug-free state. He further warned those involved in such activities and said that they will not be spared. Well, the circle officer Balo Shakak and officer in charge of Balemu police station DT Karma also urged the public to be cautious and vigilant on such activities. Well, the duo further urged the local authorities and NGOs to organize awareness to eliminate drugs and people involved in its trade and consumption. Now, besides office in charge, Karma informed the seizure of 9 cases under Balemo police station, of which 2,054 kg has been incinerated officially. Well, joining me on the broadcast is my colleague Prem Chetri, who got us this story. Well, Prem, please tell us a little bit about the circumstances leading up to this big story.
Yes, since the Balimo police who have been quite vigilant in order to check the illegal supply of the cannabis to Assam, and in fact for several years that they had been quite vigilant, and in this time that nearly 7 cases has been registered in which different individuals had been arrested. In 7 cases today that 2,054 kilograms of cannabis have already been seized. And in the presence of the administration, the circle officers, this cannabis has been destroyed today.
All right, Prem Chetri, thanks so much for bringing us all the details. Now, a groom tragically shot dead a friend by mistake as he fired a gun in celebration at his wedding. Manish Madhisha was recorded on video being handed a gun as people at the ceremony in Uttar Pradesh's Sonbhadra cheered on, but then he got carried away and fired it by mistake at Babulal Yadav. The victim was in the Indian Army and had traveled across the country after being given permission to attend the wedding. But the 35-year-old was seen collapsing to the ground in the shocking images from the video. Well, Madhisya first pointed the gun in the air after being given the weapon, but then fired it when he had dropped his arm and accidentally hit his friend. Now, the friend, Babu Lal Yadav, was rushed to the hospital but was declared dead on arrival. Yadav, wearing a white t-shirt, then fell to the ground, and while he was rushed to the hospital, he was declared dead on arrival. Police arrested the groom and several others for questioning, as well as taking the pistol, which was licensed and reportedly belonged to the victim.
कल रोबर्ट्सगंज कोतवाली क्षेत्र के आशीर्वाद लॉन में एक शादी समारोह था। इसमें मनीष मदेसिया नामक एक व्यक्ति की शादी थी और उसी शादी में प्रतिभाग करने के लिए उनके परिचित और मित्र बाबूलाल यादव, जो कि एक आर्मी में जवान हैं और ये कुमाऊं रेजिमेंट में पोस्टेड हैं, ये उसमें आए हुए थे। और उसमें पाया गया है कि हर्ष फायरिंग की जा रही थी और उस हर्ष फायरिंग के दौरान जो बाबूलाल यादव हैं, जो सेना के जवान हैं, उन्हीं की पिस्टल से जब मनीष मदेसिया, जो कि दूल्हा है, उसने फायरिंग की और गोली जो है वो बाबूलाल यादव को लग गई और तत्काल उसको लेकर के जो विवाह समारोह में लोग थे वो अस्पताल लेकर के आए, लेकिन वहाँ पे इलाज के दौरान उनकी मृत्यु हो गई। और इस प्रकार से लापरवाही की वजह से और हर्ष फायरिंग की घटना में बाबूलाल यादव की मृत्यु हो गई है। इसमें परिवार की तरफ से हत्या की तहरीर प्राप्त हुई है और उस पर कार्रवाई करते हुए एफआईआर पंजीकृत किया गया और जो आरोपी दूल्हा है मनीष मदेसिया, उसको हिरासत में लिया गया है और उसकी निशानदेही पर घटना में प्रयुक्त पिस्टल बरामद कर लिया गया।
Let's move on now. In a first, an electric car caught on fire in India and has been videotaped in Maharashtra. Now, in the past couple of months, several electric scooters have caught on fire. However, for an electric car to catch fire in India, this is the first reported case. Now, videos making the rounds on the internet show a Tata Nexon EV engulfed in flames outside a restaurant in the West Vasai area of Mumbai. As of now, the cause of this particular incident is not known. But in a statement, Tata Motors has assured that a detailed investigation has been initiated in the matter. Now, in the clip, as you can see, firefighters and police officials are seen struggling to put out the raging blaze. Now, there have been no reports of loss of life or injury due to the incident. The white body Nexon EV was parked outside a restaurant. The fire was eventually doused. Now, after the videos went viral on social media, Tata Motors issued a statement informing a detailed investigation is currently being conducted to ascertain the facts of the incident. Well, Tata also assured to share detailed response after completing the investigation. Now, Tata Nexon EV has been on sale in India for more than 2.5 years now. It is one of the highest selling passenger EVs in the nation. Tata Motors has recently also launched the Nexon EV Max in India, which has a larger battery pack, develops more power and torque, and is claimed to deliver a range of 437 kilometers on a single charge. And on to some COVID update. India reported 17,336 new coronavirus cases in the past 24 hours, the highest daily figure reported since February the 20th, as the country is witnessing an upward tick in infections amid fears of a new wave. Now, with this surge, the total number of coronavirus infections in the country has climbed to 4,33,62,294. Now, according to the Union Health Ministry data, the number of active cases increased to 88,284 in the country. India also reported 13 new COVID-related deaths in the past 24 hours, bringing the total number of fatalities to 5,24,954. Now, the active cases comprise 0.19% of the total infections. The national COVID-19 recovery rate was recorded at 98.60%, according to the Health Ministry. Now, active cases have increased by 4,294 in a span of 24 hours. The daily positivity rate was recorded at 3.94%, and the weekly positivity rate at 2.90%. And that's all we have for you in the news at 5. I'm Aaron Lingdo. News and updates continues right here on Northeast Live.
Northeast Live, the most viewed news channel in the region. On YouTube, unmatched coverage.
Oba! Oh, wow! Variety.